So I think last week, we were at a point of real national desperation. We saw a level of outrage against the Trump administration that I think had faded for a little while until it got to the point, unfortunately, of putting literal babies in prisons. So I got a text from a friend who was also at MXDC and told me that Kirstjen Nielsen was eating dinner there at a Mexican restaurant of all places that week. He asked me if I could get down there and bring some activists with me. So I was actually on my way to a book club, and I got on the metro the other direction, rerouted, and 10 minutes later I was outside the restaurant, just messaging, texting, putting out calls on social media to everyone I knew.
When you heard that this official was nearby, did you at any point think, oh, I'll pass on this? This is not the right time or the right place to protest?
I mean, I have to say it's uncomfortable. I don't think any of us want to be, scolding people in restaurants. But no, I will say any, feeling of hesitance I initially had faded when I just thought about the children who at that very moment were being held away from their parents, crying, unable to eat proper meals, unable to be treated with love and care that they need. And so it really didn't take much for me to say, I can be uncomfortable for a little while. I think as much as white moderates like to misinterpret Martin Luther King Jr., the incident at the Red Hen in Lexington is a great example of judging someone not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I'm an attorney by training, and under our Constitution, it is completely different to deny someone service in a restaurant based on identity characteristics like race, gender, nationality, sexual orientation, than it is to deny them service for their beliefs, or more importantly, their actions. And, frankly, if I can be kicked out of a bar for having one too many drinks, I think Sarah Sanders can be kicked out of a bar for telling one too many lies.
Amanda, what if somebody had done it to President Obama? It would have been considered racist. It would have been considered harking back to the Jim Crow era.
Well, they actually did do it to Obama. In the 2012 election, there was I believe, a pie shop that denied service to Joe Biden because he was part of the Obama administration. And guess what? It was on Fox News being praised as someone standing up for their rights, and what a courageous act. And then, of course, now we have these exact same people turning around and calling those on the left hypocrites for exercising their right to free speech in a restaurant. It's completely ludicrous, and it shows just how morally bankrupt the folks on the other side are in this here.
We got an email from John who says it's a specious, disingenuous argument to claim that the employees of a business have some employee right to demand that a patron be asked to leave because they disagree with the patron's political views. If this is true, then can a group of conservative employees who oppose abortion demand that Michelle Obama be asked to leave her cycling class? I'm a dyed-in-the-wool progressive, but it is dangerous and un-American, an idea that is permissible to deny services based on political ideology.
I would like to point out that anti-abortion protesters have done much, much worse than that. In fact, they've shot and killed people. So this is not a hypothetical situation. We're doing peaceful protests. Other people have already done behaviors that are much, much worse. I think we really need a variety of tactics. Just as the last caller said, this is a desperate time. Things are happening that are just beyond unacceptable morally and as a country. But I think we also need to put these recent protests in context. In just the last few years, our basic rights of citizenship have been severely eroded. Because with Citizens United, our right to speech and holding our elected leaders accountable has been drowned out by corporate money. Because of the Voting Rights Act being gutted and unprecedented foreign interference, our right to vote means less than it ever has. So, decent people are more committed than ever to resisting this administration, but those in power keep blocking our path to change. I think if you take away our shovels, you can't call us uncivil when we start digging tunnels with spoons.
In other words, you intend to continue this kind of protest?
I intend to continue all kinds of protests. I do tons of creative, joyous protests. I made headlines last year for dressing up as the Monopoly Man and photobombing the Equifax CEO. I'm all for joy and happiness. Last week was not the moment for that. Last week was the moment for outrage.
Amanda Warren is a campaign strategist at Public Justice and an activist.